Well, you might hear someone talking right now. That's Miss Catherine Mankin. She's one of our guests today for the Local View. Hello, I'm Cheryle Walters Rodriguez. Thanks for joining us. Very honored today to honor seniors today, and one of the seniors who we are giving honor to is Catherine Mankin. She was one of the original board members for the Richmond Heritage Federal Credit Union, which was the teachers union in Jackson Ward, started by teachers so that teachers can get loans and other things. So she's going to talk a little bit about those times when she served as the original board member, and maybe a little bit about some of the founders. 4 of her teachers were founders, so I bet you have lots to share with us about the Richmond Heritage Federal Credit Union and how important it is in the African American community. First of all, thank you for coming in on this hot day. So tell me a little bit about it.
I'm really proud of having been a member, because it was like a teaching ministry. And I said ministry because I've been in church ever since 1937. So that's a little short, 80 years. But the point is that when you are passionate about helping people, then you don't mind volunteering to help. And Richmond Teachers Credit Union was formed so that teachers who were not making massive salaries, I know that there have been teachers years before I ever became a teacher. But you know, when I first started, my yearly salary was $1,500 a year.
Wow.
$1,500 per year. And yet, I gladly took the job. And it wasn't even in Richmond. It was in Newport News.
So you were commuting back and forth?
Every weekend.
Wow. Okay.
But then, I was a graduate of Armstrong High School, and I had teachers there who knew me. They knew my temperament. They knew the way that I liked my drive. And so when I got out of college and wanted a job, you know, I was told you get the first job so that you get your feet wet, as they would use the expression. And then after I had been teaching in Newport News for 2 years, they said, now it's time to come home. And I got on what is called the substitute list. And there was a Mrs. Brown, Miss Marion Brown, a math teacher who took sick in the middle of the year. And so they called me to replace her for the rest of the year. And that's how I became a contract person, because at the end of that year, I was given a contract to become a math teacher at East End Middle School that I stayed until 1990 when I retired.
You have played such an important role in the African American community by choosing to dedicate your life to teaching others. And as part of that, of course, is the credit union. And I believe the credit union is honoring you and others as part of Hidden Figures. So talk a little bit about how that credit union played a role for you in helping you to establish some financial stability.
When you join the credit union as a director, then it puts a responsibility on you, not only to grow yourself, but in order to teach people who come into the credit union that it is worthy of growing. We would every year, well, even before that, before I became a teacher, a member of the board, I had friends that were board members. There was a lady named Ethel Smith, and she invited me to a board meeting. And there I sort of got the bug of thinking that I could participate in this, not only as a member of the credit union, but also as a board member. And once I got there, having the drive that I have is mean that you want to work. I never liked going in something, just sitting down watching somebody else work. And so the lady that was secretary wasn't feeling well one week, 1 month that we went to a meeting. And so I offered to take the minutes for her. Wrong, because that's when I became the secretary. But then it was a matter of when you have something to say, open your mouth. If you don't, keep it closed. And so you were always trying to think of what can I offer to the teachers, because I was one, that they might use. And therefore we were brainstorming how that you could offer them loans that would make it not only profitable, but that it wasn't going to break the bank with them. You would start out by saying, at the beginning of school, you have some needs. You can come to our credit union and we can allow you to get X number of dollars for a year at this rate of interest.
And how important was that to the community at that time to be able to turn to you and the rest of the board members in order to get that type of support?
It was, this is when I first joined. Richmond has always had its problems. It's growing, but the problems are still there. And when you needed this change that many of the teachers needed to go from not working in the summer to working in the fall, you needed to buy materials, you needed to buy school supplies for your children, school supplies for your room. And so therefore, if you could go to a place and get a minimum amount of money that you could pay back without breaking your budget, then of course, that's where we fell in, because you were in the building or in association with other people who had the same drive, who had the same needs as you did. And so you could say to them, well, you know, you ought to go to the credit union because you can get that $1,000 loan or a $5,000 loan and pay it back X number. And you know, because you own it, your fee for paying it back is going to be cheaper than it would be if you were trying to go to one of the bigger banks.
If you and the others, the other 10 founders and others like yourself who chose to commit part of your lives to working and establishing this credit union, if you all weren't around, where do you think some individuals would have been without your service, without your support?
You think in terms of what is going on now, you have, they went to their friend who would loan them, and at that time, we called loan sharks. And that's really what it was. They would need a small amount to lead or to carry them over from this paycheck to that paycheck. And therefore, they went to a friend, so-called, can you loan me X number? Well, yeah, but you got to pay me 25 cents on the dollar.
Yeah,
and what you had to, the struggle that the credit union had was trying to get these people to understand, we can loan you that dollar without charging you 25 or 30% on it. And then, as a friend in school, because we had teachers who were coming to the board meeting once a month, we're hoping to get that started again. But you have to understand, and you have to use the word, as negative as it is for some people, the word budget. If God's going to let you see tomorrow, how are you going to make it without a budget?
Yeah. And those are some of the things that the credit union taught, and I'm sure as a teacher, I believe you did some math. You mentioned that you took over a math class. I bet you did a lot of that type of teaching, and that was instrumental in helping people.
The first thing, I had 6th and 7th, 8th grade children. Every one of my classes had to make a budget. Every one of my classes had to tell me how much they were going to make and then how they were going to spend it. And it was a process, because some of them will be making thought that if I make $100 a week, and they listed about $1,000 worth of things that we're going to get. And the sad part of that is they grew up. Many of the adults grow up with that. I need a car. I need good clothing. Yes, you need a car if you're going to work a place that's distant from where you live, but you don't need a Mercedes. You need something that you can pay out of that money.
Live within your means.
And the other thing is to find out from people, who are you? And most people don't have any idea who they are. Because they want to use Catherine Mankin, but there are a lot of Catherines in the world. What makes you different from every other Catherine? What makes you different from all of the other people who have your name? And that forces them to think. Now, if that is who you are, and you're going to live past tomorrow because God is good, how are you preparing for tomorrow?
And on that note, we've gotten some great advice from Miss Catherine Mankin. She is one of the original board members for the Richmond Heritage Federal Credit Union. It is a credit union that exists right now that you can take advantage of. You may remember a few months ago we had the president and CEO, Randy Cooper, on, and he's working with Miss Mankin and some of the other former board members or honorary. I guess you guys are still board members. So I encourage you to take a look at that credit union for your financial needs, and it would be a wonderful way to support our community. So Ms. Mankin, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an honor to have you on, and we are going to continue honoring seniors today. We have Carolyn Comerford from the one of the senior agencies, who's going to talk about some of the programs that are available. So stay with us so we can share some of that information with you. But while we're taking a little break, we're going to have you see Seniors in Action, Seniors Active, with one of the tunes of last year called Happy. We'll be right back.
Now, when you look at that,
it might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. bring me down. Can't nothing bring me down. Your love is too high, bring me down. Can't nothing bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
Well, welcome back. I hope that made you as happy as it made us in the studio, having all those young people and young at heart doing the exercise from one of the hit songs of a couple of years ago. We are going to continue honoring seniors by sharing with you some information for your parents or yourselves related to some of the things that you can do here in the Richmond area with Carolyn Comerford, who will talk with us about the Senior Center of Greater Richmond and some of the activities going on. Thank you so much for joining me.
You're quite welcome, Cheryle.
Really appreciate it. You guys have so many things going on that seniors don't have to sit at home. Talk a little bit about what's going on.
Right. Well, we are a senior center for active independent seniors, so we provide about 180 activities every month, between 80 and 180, and people get to pick and choose what they want to do, because not every senior wants to exercise, not every senior wants to learn Spanish, but there are people that want to do both of those things. So you pick the things you want to do, and we have 4 locations in the Richmond area, and we have members from all over the region. So we are a regional center of membership, and they get to pick the things that they want to do every day.
I'm blown away. You said 180 to 185. How do you keep up with those numbers?
Well, you just put things out people like, and they get to do them. Where we have an ability to have 3 or 4 things going on simultaneously, then of course that makes it a little easier to choose one of the tasks that you want to do. But for instance, we might have in the morning, like this morning, we had a try us out session, which was just basically to explain what the Senior Center of Greater Richmond is, and explain how we operate and where all our locations are and what we offer. And so by having that try us out, which is free for our guests to find out more about the Senior Center, they can find it a little bit in advance. They can try us out for an entire day or even for a month with just $10, and then they can decide if they want to, if this meets their needs. Okay. And so then we will actually have lots of different activities going on, but certain things occur every month, like our diabetes support groups at 2 different locations, because diabetes is a huge issue for lots of seniors. Now, of course, if you're going to come and have information about diabetes and health and wellness, then you want to follow that up with some arts and crafts and some lunch and some exercise and some other things. So the days are pretty varied.
That sounds wonderful, keeping our seniors busy. And you touched on something that I did not ask that you share, which I think is important. What is the Senior Center of Greater Richmond? Some of our viewers may not know about it.
Well, it actually is a membership organization. We are a charity. We are a 501c3 organization. We have lots of partners like Senior Connections and some other groups that support us, but we are a separate organization, and we are a membership. Our members pay $10 a month, or they can pay once a year and save money that way at $85. But this way they get to choose the things they want to do. Some of our members only want to go on day trips. That's the thing they like, that's the reason they're members. But then every once in a while they'll see something else that they really want to do too. Or maybe they'll find out that they have a disease they need to know more about, and they may want to come and find more information. We do have community activities and things like that we open the doors to all the seniors in the area, so people can come in and find out again what we do and how much we can offer to them.
Your organization is so important now with many of us living much longer and a lot of baby boomers like myself taking care of parents, although my parents are very energized and healthy, thank God. But there are some people who are taking care of their parents and may not have an opportunity or activities like what you have.
Right.
I'm sure you realize that. So if someone wanted to take advantage of it, are you located geographically in all parts of the Richmond area, or?
Well, we have 4 of our locations are all in Richmond right now, but we have members coming from all over the region. So we have members coming from Goochland, from Henrico, from Chesterfield, and we have activities going on in North Chesterfield and South Richmond, and then in three other places in Richmond area, one in North Side, one on Church Hill, and one in the Museum District. Now, we are a 58-year-old organization, so we're not new. And a lot of our members, people, when they first hear about us, they said, "Are you the same organization that was over on Monument Avenue?" Yes, we are. We were there for over 50 years. And then we moved from that location, and now we are a virtual center.
Okay, great. So it's good to know that you're located in several different places throughout the area. So what are some of the programs that you're seeing seniors take most advantage of?
I think exercise is the one that maybe 100% of our seniors say yes, that's what they want to do. They don't all do it, by the way, but that's what they want to do. It is the most popular activity we have. We have exercise at every location every day that we're open. And in addition to that, then there's a lot of others. They like to find out more about nutrition, but they like to find out about it by having a cooking class, not by sitting down and listening about nutrition. They want to actually have a cooking class. They want to see how it happens. They want meals that are nutritious and fun, and that helps teach them how to make nutritious meals on their own. And there is a difference between the nutrition of today and the nutrition of 50 years ago. So we are learning about that. They like arts and crafts. We actually have a partner with Visual Arts Center. So we provide 4 6-week memberships, not memberships, 4 6-week programs on visual arts each year, and our members can participate in those. And we also have arts and crafts on site, jewelry making and card making and all sorts of different arts. We have great series on American women. And we are, this month, I think in September, we're going to be looking at Ella Fitzgerald. Last month we actually had, it was Rachel Carson was the one that was our focus. So it's different women who are well known and a lot of their background, and we shouldn't share that information. So that's some of the things we do.
That's awesome. And
a lot of big variety.
And you also talked about day trips. Share with us some of the day trips that seniors will participate in if they should join.
Right. In September, we'll be going to the African American Museum in Washington, Smithsonian. And that trip is sold out, but we are in the process of setting up a second one. So we hope to have a second one right behind it because we've already got a waiting list of quite a few people that want to be on the trip. We just finished a fishing trip. In the last 6 months, we've gone on a casino trip. We've done some other things. Last year, we had what we call a jaunt. We went up to the apple orchards. We went over and had lunch at a great restaurant in Nelly's Ford and just had a great day out. It was called the Mountains Jaunt. And we had a really good time. And we do things like that. Then we'll also go to the museums. We'll go to Virginia Museum, to the Science Museum. We went there last month to see the Da Vinci program. So we take advantage of things here. We get our seniors out to take advantage of the things that are available to them. And then we also try to get the community to be more aware of what is available.
How important are these types of activities to the emotional, mental, and physical health of our seniors?
Unfortunately, it's really, really easy to become isolated when you're a senior. You're not working actively. You're not necessarily, you not necessarily have a spouse at home, so you don't have that relationship that also brings you additional people into your family. So you have many things that are going on that tend to isolate us a little bit more. As we grow older, we also may have limitations. Some of us can't drive. So we have issues along that line. Any of these things can isolate, and isolation basically kills. We know that your health will deteriorate as you're more and more isolated. We know that the connections with other humans is very important in actually staying healthy and being able to stay both cognitively aware as well as health aware. So these are extremely helpful in not only letting people do things they love doing, but they're learning new things, which means they're using their brains in new ways. And every time you introduce a new skill to your set or a new interest, you're actually using new brain cells, and you're actually going to be working to really for better mental health as well as physical health. And then we are actually able to also give people a chance to develop new relationships.
That's critically important, I'm sure.
It is.
Okay, well, I am so pleased that you were able to come in. I know we've
Thank
been
you.
playing phone tag for a couple months, but it sounds perfect because as people go back to some of their routine now that summer is winding down, this might be the perfect thing for them to check out. So how can people reach you?
Well, they can reach us by our website, seniorcenterofgreaterrichmond.org, or they can call us at 353-3171, or you can send us an email by seniorcenterrva@gmail.com.
And I'm so glad that you guys are there for the many seniors. That is a growing population, as I'm sure a lot of you know, and it's great that Carolyn was able to come in today and share with us some of the goings on at Senior Center of Greater Richmond. Thanks for joining us. I'm Cheryle Walters Rodriguez. Hope you have an awesome day. We'll see you soon.